how do I look at UPSC? Okay, so let me introduce myself. So my name is Arvind. So I almost have 6 years plus on this UPSC. Have been till interviews. I'm a working professional. Okay, I work for corporates. So weekends I do uh, pursue my passion, so which is UPSC. So I've been doing this for the quite long time. It's restless, trust me. So for the workings who have been asking me this question, it's restless. Every day you are competing with the person who's having 24 bar 7, a good amount of full day stretch time to cover it. Okay. But the problem is not everybody is your competition. So that you have to understand. Okay. Let's say everybody gets 1.5 year of time after graduation. Okay, that doesn't mean everybody is skilled and they're gonna compete with you on UPSC. Your real competition would be somewhere 30,000 to 40,000 people. Okay, that's your real competition. And then all these reservation and this that, your mistake, your luck, everything plays a role. Okay, so that way you will be like having ups and downs. So this journey would need you a lot of things. So one would be patience. Okay, keep yourself motivated. Just do the things, don't expect for the results to happen in the day one. Okay, have been studying for 1 week, sir. You know that 1 week result you might see it after 6 months. So that much patience you should have. So that's something you have to accept in the day one. Okay, right. So yes, so what, so to answer the question on the covering of topics, okay, let's take about the pillars we spoke about. There are few key subjects that we talk. Okay, people, you would have heard this word called polity, economics, history, geography, and then what else? IR, art and culture. So these all are like little interlinked topics, but yeah, internal security. There is a lot of topics. Okay, so who's your guidance for this whole journey? Okay, don't listen to the toppers, don't listen to your peers, nothing. Your only person who you have to listen to is this fellow. Okay, he is your ultimate guidance. Okay, go through first work of your preparation starts with, everybody is starting new, right? So your first time, whatever you start with something, you go through the preparations syllabus completely. Okay, I want you to memorize it, not just remember things. Okay, when I say Indian economy, which mains paper does it come, I don't want you to say GS3, GS2. I want you to completely know what are the subtopics in Indian economy, what comes in GS3. Correct? So I want you guys to start with that. Okay, why? Because the most difficult part of this UPSC examination is mains. Okay, so stop preparing for your prelims. Okay, I'll tell you what to do, but your main tough stage is mains. Why? What is the total mark that you write for mains? Okay, what does one subject stop, I mean full mark one? Okay, 250. So how many questions you'll be writing? How many questions? What is the time? Good. Okay. Tell me each question how many words you should write. So tell me the total count. Again, 200 is also there. Okay, 200 words also there could be questions. So they keep fluctuating. Just tell me this. What is the amount of word count that you'll be hitting? In case we follow everything right. Correct? Let's say, we have to add here and there is was, that, this. So this word count is always exceeded. Correct? And we don't write less than that. We try to fill the papers at least. So then 3 hours, let's say 4,000 words. How many words you have to write for an hour? let's say 1600 words, right? At least. Correct. You know about your essay papers? How many words you write? 2 essays. Each carries how many words? 1000 words, okay? So 2 questions, they give you 3 hours. And now in the GS and other mains paper, this is your word that you have to speed up. Okay, so why I'm telling you this is this 20 questions, you will not have time to even think there in the exam hall. Okay, so I'm trying to give you this small calculation, I know all these things, sir, we have read. The thing is, this is the toughest part. Okay, when they tell you, write about Indian Constitution, you don't have time to think, should I write this point, should I not, should I have to do this, should I add this, should I add this newspaper? Those all are the critical things. So assume that you took an extra minute for this one question, you won't be attend another question. Okay, I won't say you'll always able to write 20 questions. Okay, again, I don't always say there is this accurate correct answer for every question that UPSC is expecting. You have, all our school times, or maybe the colleges, we would have said, if we have these 4 key important points, I'll give you 4 marks, 5 marks. That concept is all gone. Okay, so what feels answer to you may not be an answer to her, and what feels answer to her may not be answer for somebody else. If this is the case, and you're going to submit, let's say 30,000, 40,000 people are going to write 40,000 different answer, and the corrector is going to, the evaluator is going to think on how he is going to judge you, and basically what makes sense to him onto that question would be granted as a mark to you. So the mains is the toughest part. All the mains topics are in terms, all the prelims topics are in terms covered under some mains topic. So that's why for prelims, you try to find out the missing part in the options. Okay, for mains, you understand the concept, you take the complete analogy, what could be an expectation out of this question, and then write it down. Okay, is this understanding clear? Okay, when people tell you are preparing for UPSC, it's not for interview, it's not for prelims, it's mainly purely based on the mains. Okay, again, why? Because anytime you can add your interview skills, the communication skills. Okay, that should be starting from the day one, but again, you could develop, you sit in multiple interviews, you'll get used to what you have to say, what not you have to say, everything will be practiced. And for the prelims, again, you solve as many questions as possible, you'll be able to identify what are the missing pieces in the options, whether this is right, this is wrong, that is right, everything. Okay, but mains, it's not like that. You have to write for 3 hours, and you have to write 2 subjects a day. That is clear, right? You know this. Morning you have 1 exam, evening you have 1 exam, so 6 hours of writing a day. Okay, 6 hours of writing a day is, so for some people it's okay, fine, I can write a lot, I have a good hand power, I can write a lot, everything. But the thing is, this 6 hours you will have only 1 day before to prepare for the 2 subjects. Correct? So preparing 1 day before the exam or a week before the mains, people do this mistake. Okay, they'll cover prelims, and once they clear prelims, they'll be thinking that I'll study for mains. After prelims, you might get 3 months. So 3 months may a lot of topics are new: international relationship, internal securities. Okay, a lot of other areas will come. So those would not be covered within this, and then you have optional also. So trust this process from the day one. Take things slow and steady. Keep reading. Okay, daily try to cover 1 or 2 topics. That's more than enough. Keep covering that 1 or 2 topics every day. At the end of 6 months, sorry, at the end of month, you'll have 60 topics in your hand. Okay, sir, how to choose the 60 topics? Correct, how to choose these 2 topics? So that's when you rely on this newspaper. Okay, that's when you rely on the newspaper, because nobody is going to take this spectrum or polity book and ask you, okay, this is the question I may put on this year. No, they're all done with those books. They'll see what is the event that is happening the recent. Okay, they'll find how I can ask you a question out of it correlated to the constitution. Let's say in the recent times, I think Arvind Kejriwal is on news, right? Anybody knows why? What case? Liquor case. Okay. So can and chief minister could be arrested just like that? Okay. Okay. So judiciary power is a different point to act on. Okay. Let's talk about this. We have case. You would have heard of this. Okay. We have two cases. Let's say I'm the judiciary. I get two cases on the same person. So one is a divorce case. His wife has filed on him. Another is a harassment case. His employees have or his colleagues, peers have filed on him. Okay, there is two cases. Okay, on me. So if you ask this, what would be the most critical case? Divorce. Okay. Harassment. So two case on me. Let's assume I'm a CM, or let's say governor also. Okay, but don't you think it's his personal? Hmm. But that doesn't make me, somebody has, said that, my wife could have not liked the perfume that I used. She could have filed a divorce for that. There are cases, okay? Let's take it like this, okay? Let's say not domestic violence as a consideration. So, I mean, there could be, but again, there are other angles also, correct? So, just, I got mental pressure, nothing. I got mental pressure, so I want a divorce from my husband. It's a physical harassment. So there is two takes you take out of this, right? So one is a typical personal case, another one is a crime. So that's why we split cases into civil and criminal offense, correct? Nobody gets deposition fired upon the civil offense. Let's say I have a property issue with my brother, that doesn't make me, and somebody comes and gives me that, until there is a financial aspect of it, and that does not prove. But criminal offense are different. Okay, murder case, abusiveness, there is a critical thing that, sexual harassment that I have done. So these are considered to be criminal offense, correct? So the punishment and the consideration is different. So these all are the minute things that you get from the newspaper. Okay, here I may tell you what is criminal offense, this or this few points I'll tell you. But then what makes this news more interesting is when you substitute or add this with the news article. Okay, so your question is going to be like that in your mains. You can take any mains question paper. I ask them to download. Maybe if I could not find it, you'll see this way. They'll ask a problem currently that is happening. Okay, they'll tell you what is the reason for it, explain. They won't ask what is the problem with India's water irrigation system. They'll ask Bengalore's recent water crisis is something more critical. Examine. So they are taking an article from newspaper which is on Bangalore's term, and they'll be asking you to evaluate. For this, it's not that, I know Bangalore, it's a lot of you. Let's take this. What would be an answer for this? Let's say this is the question that somebody has asked you. Let's say you are from Bangalore, the interview panel gets to know and asking, like, recent time there's this water scarcity in Bangalore. What do you think as your solution for it? Come on, let's start. What do you feel? Anybody could answer. What would you say? Tankers. Okay, you?
On a limited cost, I would say tankers, and for the permanent cost, a permanent revenue would be better rainwater harvesting system. This water logging is happening that could be harvested as well.
Okay, what do you think is the reason for this situation first?
Deforestation. I'm
Okay.
talking about lakes that was in Bangalore before.
Okay.
So builders have done that encroachment of the areas
Mm-hmm.
where there's more biodiversity relatively and the infrastructure development with no system, with no system.
Okay, let's say if I am a builder, I want to construct a 55 acres of mall in Bangalore, the biggest mall if I want to construct. Will I be able to do it in Bangalore?
If it's a commercial property, if it's a property,
There is a workflow, you know, all these authorities has to be signed. Correct?
paper.
Correct. Collector could be involved, everybody. So now it's not that somebody wants to encroach in a lake that you have done it, but it has gone through all the process. So don't you see that the deforestation alone is not the cause? The complete system is messed up. Correct. So these are the things that you will lack. The difference between a normal crowd and an aspirant makes this difference. Everybody will know that, you know, whenever there is water, whenever there is no rain, the only reason they climb is deforestation. In so much building, you'll write so many people are moving in. Correct. But we in the geographical aspect, what was the reason for less rain this year? Anybody heard of it? El Nino. So the same question, okay, I asked what is a water scarcity, but look at the points that we have. One is on the system, government and other areas we have. One is on the urbanization, okay, and another one, people are able to afford a lot of money, okay, they're spending waters for unwanted things, so because they have a lot of money, so again economy comes in place. Correct. So for a single question, there is multiple aspects. So all your topics has to be covered in this way. Just giving you a lifetime example. It could be a small topic of, you know, what is Supreme Court. That is what is given in your syllabus. Judiciary is the word. But when you take judiciary, there is a lot of angles. Who's public prosecutor? Okay. Correct. What is Attorney General? What is his work? What a recent time he is doing. So these all has to be correlated. Correct. Again, we cannot say that he's working for the government and he's so much happy that, you know, everything is working fine, because nowadays the retired judge is getting position as MP. So now there is political things involved in it. Okay, they don't want you to know offend things. Nobody, you know, UPSC won't ask you a critical questions like where you say that, you know, this is to be blamed by this fellow. Your answer has to be so much neutral, generalized, okay, that you see that these are the flaws. You tell them, you know, I see these are the areas that needs improvement, instead of link this is the real problem. Two ways of putting a statement. Okay, so these all you'll get it by writing the mock test. Okay, and everything. So first, when you start about a newspaper, it's not just a simple newspaper. You have to correlate with your syllabus. Okay, whenever you read any article, you just correlate, because this why I'm covering is because you want to cover the topics, how to read. Correct. You might get almost 100 plus articles a day. Okay. Correct. Read the 100 plus articles whichever you feel could be in the syllabus. For that, you should memorize the syllabus. Let's say what is considered as an international relationship, what not. Let's say two countries are, you know, blaming each other. Is it an international relationship? Two countries are between war. Is it an international relationship? Or India is getting elected as a chairperson for a different international assembly. Correct. So among these three, what are considered as international relationship? So this differentiation also saves your time. Okay, this will let you to narrow down your topic from 100 to 20. So covering a 20 days a topic is easy, but for that you should remember all these things. Okay, Is there? Ask with yourself, is this topic could be asked in UPSC? Is it in syllabus? Anywhere. Let's say election comes. Election word is mentioned in your syllabus? Yes? Good. So I have to read this topic. First, clarity. Second, even if the election word is mentioned, do I have a question that I can be framed from it? Correct? Can ask myself a question if I was a UPSC question paper setter. I cannot set a standard question, but still, what question can I ask? If I can ask a question, yes, then approach that article. If I cannot ask a question out of it, let's say two parties are fighting each other on an election for a symbol. Okay, what is your takeaway from it? I think this happens, right? You would have seen. Any ideas? Okay. Anything else to look at? You see, this thinking is what is needed in your UPSC preparation. Straightforward. Okay. Ask questions why, what has happened, why it is the reason. You cannot ask this question in your exam hall. For sure. You won't have this time. Okay. And I ask you to write few straightforward questions. Okay. What is volcano? What is water scarcity in Bangalore? What is Supreme Court's role in justice? If I give you these three questions, you will think 100 times. Even though you prepare it, you will think 100 times what point to write, what not to write. So that thinking and everything will get sorted if you understand the question, which paper it comes. GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4. We talked. So GS1, if the same water scarcity problem comes, what is GS1 paper is all about? History, then geography, anything else? Art and culture, okay. Anything else? So now if this is going to be the water scarcity is going to be the question, what do you think could be a topic that you can cover it? Geography. Okay, let's assume, okay, we'll take basics, geography. Now if geography is going to be the case, what all you will write with respect to Bangalore's water crisis and geography questions?
Where it's located, first thing.
Location. Okay.
Topographical.
Topographical events, rivers, lake management, deforestation, everything comes. If the same question gets into the GS2, now they are going to GS2, what is it all about? Polity, constitution, correct? Roles and responsibility, Lok Sabha, local governments, correct? So that way you have to answer this question. When it goes to GS3, the same water scarcity, what is GS3 is all about? Economics is one, yes, money, finance, policies, basically. Governance. So what is the problem with Bangalore's governance? Those has to be answered. Correct? And let it goes to GS4, an ethical aspect. How we are socially responsible for this water scarcity. Are we properly using the water? Are we keeping it in sink? So, same topic, how long it correlates could be a point. And let's say you have your geography optional, you'll be able to write the geography question better. Little. People who has public administration and other things better, they can write it on the constitutional area little better. Correct? So, a single topic what you see as multi-dimensional. So, you have to cover all those dimensional, but you will be covering only 3 topics a day, at least from the newspaper. So that at the end of 1 year, you'll have a good amount of topics. And UPSC is not going to go, like let's say Arvind Kejriwal's case, we're talking about liquor policy, the arrest and stuff. 3-4 areas are involved. Okay, constitution, what is the roles and responsibility has come. What is this ED, enforcement directorate, doing? What is their roles and responsibility that comes. So likewise, you have multiple dimension. So that newspaper, that article in the newspaper would be coming for a week or at least 10 days. Okay. If you don't cover it on the first day, take that article on the second day. Not on the second day, at least on the third day. So likewise, if you choose your articles wisely, you'll be somehow covering almost all the articles by the year. But the problem is we miss to do it. You're not consistent. Okay, sir, how many things to do a research? But trust this hard work process for 6 months. Start preparing for the newspaper and everything. Everything starts from the newspaper. Okay, I'll tell you about my personal experience. I was able to clear UPSC prelims just 3 months with preparation of newspaper alone. Okay, trust me, that was the case. That much relevance of newspaper content was there in the prelims and in mains, and now it's more increasing. So earlier there used to be a direct straightforward question, A to B. Now it is like A to B, B to C, D to B, and the question will be asked as Z. So which has all these relevance. Okay, this won't make sense to you, but again, this is how it is. That's what UPSC is demanding. That's why this exam is tough. Okay, when you have this, when you see this 10 lakh people has been filed your application, all banking exams, state PSC, everybody would try to give a attempt because the application fee is very less. And after you narrow down with prelims, you'll have only around 30 to 40,000 or 2 lakhs somewhere will be eligible for the mains. And these are your competitions. Okay, not the complete crowd. How do you stay out of that crowd? Start doing things which the crowd is not doing. Okay, nobody would be consistent with newspaper. Even I am not. Okay, there will be days where I'm not interested to read the newspaper at all. And people say that early morning, as soon as you get up, you start going through the newspaper. That's what toppers used to say. But early morning, throwing your face with such a big information is you will demotivate it for the whole day. Correct? How many people would have sensed that morning newspaper reading, you'll read 2 articles and then close it, and you start the newspaper in the morning and whole day is going for newspaper. So first, start with your core subjects. What are your core? Let's say you spoke about polity, Indian economy, and then let's say geography, history, international relationship, ethics, other areas are like optional. So these are your topics to be covered first. Okay, how are you going to cover? You can cover parallelly with the class that is going here. One way of doing. Second way, sir, I have more time. Here you are covering just 3 hours, 4 hours content. That subject I can read it within 1 hour. So I have remaining is 4 hours of time. So you can start reading NCERTs of subjects which are weak. Okay, why NCERTs and why the subject you are weak? I'm telling is NCERT is meant to given to a school kid to digest that information. Correct? So you learn that, you don't make notes, you just learn and understand the topics. You can make notes. I don't say don't do it, but if you wish to make notes, you can do it. But again, you will take good amount of time. Just read the story, what happened during the freedom struggle. We all know this, but what even happened, what has happened, whose name is involved, at least hear those names or read those names at least once. So you'll get an idea when history class is going. Read the polity. They're talking about fundamental rights. At least when polity class is going, you'll understand what is fundamental rights. So likewise, you can slowly gather or gain the information. Okay, who's going to guide you? Your syllabus, nobody else. Whenever whatever comes, don't ever think that Arvind sir or when anybody would come and say that this is important article. It's you. What feels important to be may not be to you. So, but you will feel that importance when you read the newspaper. Consume it. Let's we see El Nino. What is El Nino? Just Google El Nino UPSC. You type it. You'll find some articles. Read it out. Okay, it will tell you what is El Nino, what is the effect. In case if it is not happening, okay. Weekend I'll be covering your current affairs mostly. Okay, so you can come to me, or you can ask the reception team to send. Sir, I cannot understand this article from this week's newspaper. Can you cover it out for us in the weekend? You can send that note. I'll get that question. So I'll definitely make sure it is covered. Okay, I might think, okay, it's a simple geography question. If they read the newspaper, you might understand, but that should not be the case. Is it clear till now? Any questions that you guys have? Okay. Okay. So, what else could you think of the core subjects? We spoke about polity. You know what is polity, right? Not politics. Politics and polity is different. Have this understanding, okay? So polity talks about the structures of the government. When do you call it a government? Why not we are calling it as an organization? What is the difference between government and organization? Correct. So these all are part to be covered. What is allowed, what not is allowed. Okay, what is my role and responsibility? And why do you see in the newspaper why people are fighting that governor? Always chief ministers will be telling that this governor is not signing our bill. What is the bill? What is parliament? What is its structure? So these all are covered as part of polity. Okay, history. You need any definitions? So what has happened? And if you see, if do anybody have the syllabus in hand with you? I think I should find it here. Okay. I know this might have covered, but just want you to go through a little. Okay. Okay. I guess you guys can see the screen, right? Okay. Let's talk about this first. Okay. The prelims aspect, the core subjects that we are discussing. Okay. That's the agenda of this today's workshop. So down the line, we'll narrow down how to take things. Okay. So what is this topic? Is it visible, right? Current event of. So this is nothing but current affairs. Okay. National and international importance. Okay. What importance to you matters most? Okay. With respect to the syllabus. I might say this article is important. You might think, no, this could be a question asked from this. Yes, you have to read it. Okay. Next one, see. History. Next. Geography. Next. Polity. Next. Okay. Next. Environment. Science. This is your prelims syllabus definition, correct? History of India, National Indian Movement. But this is not the complete history, correct? When you narrow down further, okay, the same detailed aspect goes into paper 2. See, culture, the same history, whatever you are talking, now splits into subtopics. Culture, art forms, literature, architecture, correct? And then they are talking about modern Indian history, correct? And then they are talking about freedom struggle. Who are the important contributors and contribution? You all read this Netaji, Subhash Chandra Bose, and then Gandhiji. What was his role? The question goes like that. They're going to ask you the question: what if Gandhi was not there in India? Do you think India would still got attained the independence? We all thought Gandhi got us independence. So obviously I'll write no, without Gandhiji India might not get. Correct, no? So this kind of conceptual understanding is more important. Were there similar leaders to Gandhiji? Why did Gandhiji was praised? Why not others? Correct. Next, post-independence consolidation. These all are part of Indian history. That's why we are seeing that history topic in the prelims, but it is detailedly narrowed down. Okay, so how do you want to cover the subjects? Okay, let's take this topic. If you take about art forms, is mentioned as a word in UPSC syllabus, right? Let's you take as a word of Indian history with middle century, and then important contributors post independence. So these are your keywords. Okay, what you are supposed to do, okay, this is very important. What you are supposed to do is, on all these keywords, okay, make notes for at least 3 pages. This is your work. All these keywords you should have content. Okay, let's say post independence, what happened? India Pakistan split, famine was there, people were fighting for houses, we did not have. Then after comes the green revolution and stuff, correct? So what all were going through on this post independent consolidation? All the lands were with zamindars, correct? How did they split it out? What was the reason? So all these topics have tried to make a 3-page content, not more than that. Okay, 3-page content is what you should know. 3-page content. And with this 3-page content, sir, there will be a lot of information. What to write in this 3-page? What content will give you 15 marks in your UPSC? That should be the content. Let's say I walked from here till there, that should not be the content. The content of, we did a salt march from here to there, that should not be the complete. Right, you should not write, we did a salt march to here and there. That takes 2 lines. You should write only salt march. Okay, this, that's all. That's how your note making should be. Okay, and that's how you will save time, and that's how you will compress all the informations in this 3-page. Okay, the relevant information which is going to give you 15 marks, 15 to 20 marks. That's all you have to take. Okay, now the same history again will drop down even further. Again, you see, workforce, gender balance, women candidates. So whenever there is this word comes in, women development, giving power, it is also a part of mains. You don't take it for granted. Okay, so next, again, see, history of world history. What is this revolution? What is world war? What are the boundaries? What is colonization, decolonization? What are the political philosophies? But these all are narrowed down in a single word called history. So that's why history is considered to be a core pillar. Okay, so that's why history is considered to be a core pillar. And the single word is mentioned in your prelims. So when you cover so much deep information in your mains, your prelims is already covered. So this understanding you should have. Never prepare for prelims, prepare for mains. And last 1 month or 2 months before prelims, you start attending more mock. Okay, and when to attend the mock, I'll answer those questions still. Okay, see again, Indian society, diversity of India. How is our society made? Who's the head of the family? What was the reason? India wasn't like that during the Indus Valley civilization. Okay, we were all mother goddess dependent. Okay, females used to be the top of the family. Why now it is father is the head? What has happened in between? Could be, but what has happened in between? Vedic culture, along that, why didn't other people again still not change it? So there were a lot of social castes going. Okay, role of women and women organization, self-help groups, correct? You would have heard small things. So these all makes issue. Urbanization. See, again, we talked about water scarcity. That is also one issue with urbanization. If I want to ask it here, I can ask it here. So read the topic correlated with the subject and then make notes. Next, globalization and Indian society. So we were so happy back then, iPhones were not there. Only Indian products were used. Now there would have been good amount of money in India. How many have iPhone? Hands up. Okay, good. Nobody. OnePlus. Oh, other brands, Vivo, Oppo. Okay. It's Carbon. Good. Helps you a lot. Yeah. So the real cost, for making an iPhone, what's the price of an iPhone? Everybody,
70,000.
70,000, 60 plus. What is it making charge of iPhone in China? Huh? 20? 20,000. Anybody? Any other guess?
For the top model, with all the actual specs, is 20,000. Because they use actual supply and that's cost.
They have the semiconductor reserves, so
But the thing is, they use all the chips and everything, right? When it gets assembled, 20,000. Including
okay,
labor cost.
okay.
Including labor.
So it's $800 in India, okay, or US. The phone is spent at this, okay. The making cost of an iPhone is $10 in China. $10, okay. All these extra layers, the shipping cost going here, coming here, the other things that they pay to GST and custom duties and other things, what makes it very much expensive, okay. And are we allowed to bring that product into India? What is the checks and balance that we have? Let's say if I'm allowed to, let's say everybody can sell their mobile in India, we'll have all the mobile companies in India very cheap. So we have certain standard. Are we allowed to globalize? Are we exchanging goods with other people? With not government, others also can do. Correct? Even I can import certain toys from China and keep it in my name. So that is what, again, globalization. Okay, where you are allowed to trade with others so easily. And then see, social empowerment, communism, regionalism, secularism. Here comes the world geography. What is the structure? What are the various primary sectors? What are the events that is happening? So when they say earthquake, they are given such as El Nino is also one event, like earthquake, volcanic activity, cyclone. Okay, so now these two parts almost covered all your GS1. So what is your core pillars of GS1? History and geography. But when you narrow down, there is a lot of other topics. So you should narrow down with topics and read it. Okay. Is there any question till now? Yes or no? Come on. It's okay. Let's talk. Tell me. Is it any more clarity needed on this? So what you have to read? You have to read for topics in the syllabus. Okay. How do I start? Let's say you are talking with ancient history. Okay, what is the topic that it comes in? They're talking about ancient history, right? Okay, so you can take it in a ways. I mean, major of aspect goes in ancient is almost not mentioned in the syllabus, but that goes into this, and also in the historical aspect, cultural landforms and everything comes from that area only. Literature, everything is there. So, ancient to modern. So for that, you know to know what ancient people were doing, where they coins, how did they do the trade. So when you start with ancient, that goes under the topic Indian culture. At this topic, Indian culture, right? Ancient, and then you start making notes. So they will be asking about the potteries also. What color of vessels did they use? Why did they use that? What was available during that time? Okay. Why did few kingdoms were so powerful? Why not few? What kind of geographical uh, advantages they had? So these all comes on this. So the conceptual understanding is different, making notes is different. You understand the concept in the class, you make notes after revisiting it through your documents. Okay, so you should have all the mains paper should have one note. Okay, I don't know whether you have multiple notebooks piled up, or I don't know how you guys would do it, but let's say all topics should go in hand. GS1 should be in a single place where you can take and revise it. Okay, you cannot finish it within a single notebook, that is for sure. If you want to write it in papers, A4 sheet, double sheets, anywhere you write it and you want to pin it and keep it in a file, up to you.
So, with respect to that, generally we see online it's like mind maps. Like they draw the what is it, flow,
Mm-hmm.
charts on that. How can we make them instead of just hitting it. For example, our human mind says we see a movie, we remember the movie for lifetime. Similarly, if you see a picture, you remember it for a lifetime. But when you read the book, you skip it 2 minutes. So,
See, the book content, that's what I'm telling. No, it's a too much of information that they are throwing at you. Okay, movie is restricted to 2.5 hours. Correct.
the content what they're giving, if you read a simple, let me take Harry Potter.
Hmm.
The first book has about what, 500 pages. Movies to us, but when you see the movie, you remember each and everything. Whereas the books, you're like, okay, this is the thing.
That's what visualization helps you. One thing to remember, our our brain is all made of neural networks, so it's basically the visualization aspect brings information from every nerves into the cognitive sense. Okay, but again in the book also, that's what the problem is. You cannot remember. Let's say if I ask you in the movie, let's say you said you remember Harry Potter, the first one. Okay, let's say if I ask you what was the train's number in the movie that Harry Potter first time boarded, we all know that it's a Hogwarts Express, but we don't know the minute details. The reason is we just focus on the high level story of it. They boarded a train. First time he was not allowed, then he let in. He went, he got the ticket, he didn't know the platform. These all were conceptual. So when I ask you about the story of Indian independence, you'll tell every story. You'll tell that we were doing all these things. We were like very poor. These British came in. That story is not getting faded out. But the information, when did they come? Let's say if Harry Potter also, if they set a particular year that this year was started, down the line you would have forgot until you see that for 10 to 20 times. Okay, so until you don't remember for 10 to 20 times, you won't remember all those things. So the reason is the factual data is always getting faded. Okay, the storyline, the background always stays. Let's say now, how many people, whenever we talk about judiciary, let's say I spoke about civil and criminal offense. Okay, everybody got a little understanding, correct? So whenever we see a newspaper, now your mind automatically goes to understand whether it is civil or criminal, because I gave you that content. I did not tell you what was the civil act that exactly did and what year it was. If I tell you that, you will forget. Instead of that, I gave you what is the criminal offense, what is the civil offense, differentiation. This could be remembered. So whatever could be remembered as part of your story, you don't make notes. Okay, whatever things will get faded, that is a recallable information that you need, that has to be made notes. You get it? Is this differentiation clear? So if I talk about civil offense act, so and so, and that act it said A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z, and I'm giving you 10 points. The 10 points will get faded. But the story of me telling this harassment and divorce curse will stay. Land problem and other case will stay. So did I make sense? So always your story will remain. So that's why when you listen to history, geography, everybody will remember why does the volcanoes erupting. What are volcanoes? Do anybody need to give? I have to give the information why what is volcano. Everybody knows, correct? Why volcanoes like erupting lava? So these are some stories that people will be telling. Okay, Earth's underlying core is molten state. Sometime overheat, it will come out because of movement of this. The story you will remember. But what plate? Why is this plate movement happening? Where is this plate located? These are factual content. Okay, we all talked about. Let me give you another example also. Let's take this is India. Okay, in the center of India. Okay, let's assume these are ocean. Okay, what is this? East Bay of Bengal. This is let's. So they say that in this section you have black soil. Okay, how did the black soil only is available on that section? What has happened? Okay, they say India was part of South Africa. and India was moving because of some internal force. Okay, I'll not explain much. Internal force, it was moving, and when it was moving down the line, one day it came under a particular volcano. Okay, that volcano was erupting, and that soil has come to this area, and since India was keep moving, it has only filled this area and the edge, and the volcano went down. That's why that region is having black soil. You would have seen volcano erupts, after it settles, it gets into black. Correct. So they climb this, and on top of that, we'll have wear and tear. Correct. Dust, particles, everything goes. So this is one reason. So now you will remember whenever I say this, why there is black soil, you'll remember, okay, fine, this. But if I tell you what was this volcano name, and if I tell you this movement ka name, I'll give you hundreds of factual information that will get like forgotten. So that's what you have to make notes and read it again and again. You read it 10, 20 times, you'll remember it. Okay, so this visualization you will not forget. Okay, I am pretty sure this all will happen, but try to make notes on the factual things which you are tend to forget. Okay, let's say act number, policy, women organization. If we talk, what all the organization list? We know what is women organization, but we don't know the list. Let's say how many fund we are giving. Correct. What is a fund number? That we don't know, but we can remember we are giving funds. So these are the things that you have to factualize. The mind mapping concept, they do it like this. Okay, they take art and culture, or let's take water scarcity of Bangalore. Okay, they'll write, okay, first one in the GS1 aspect, what are the reasons? Location, river, angle, lakes have been demolished, urbanization is happening. Next, going to GS2, say you'll say civil bodies, local bodies are not performing, advantage, disadvantage, why, what is happening, people are not being ethically stuff. And then again you go to GS3, economic impact, companies are coming, a lot of employees are moving, migration is happening. Correct. So these all you will write it here. And now you have another one which is on GS4, ethical aspect, water has to be considered as a sustainable resource, we are not treating it that way. Again here you will have 5-10 points. That's all is your flow chart. But this is topic wise, since we talked about water, but this has to be different. This topic has to go to GS1 notes, this goes into GS2, everything goes into different areas. But when you write it with respect to the newspaper article, you have to recall those things in your exam. Okay, so all urbanization related issues, buildings, construction, people movement, migrations, everything has to be kept in the GS1. But you should know where to use it, why to use it, why not to use it. That is your part of your learning curve. Okay, nobody is like, you asked me on the day one, I was even more dumb than what half of the aspirants would have known. Okay, so it all comes by the learning, but stay consistent with this process. Okay, so likewise you have all those things. So to high level, if you talk, we'll have other things also. See, GS2 we talked, it has talking about the Indian constitution, function and responsibilities, what CM PM is allowed to do, why not. These are some core subjects. Okay, but your topic has to go on, your notes has to go on the topic wise. If we talked about representation of people's act, okay, where is this? We are talking about representation of people's act. So this has to be one of your topic in your GS2, that you have to have 3 pages. So we spoke about the symbols, right? So those all goes in this. How a party gets symbol, how a party is considered as a national party or a local party, what is the rule, what is the condition that they have kept, those all goes in here. Okay, so similarly, see, how do they appoint various constitutional posts, powers, function. So these are your notes. Let's say PM is to be appointed, how the PM is appointed? MP election, you said MP, so Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha both participates, right? Correct or no? So this is the understanding that you have to understand. Make note of it, keep it. What is the number of votes, what is the number of seats? These all, they won't straight away ask you how many seats are needed. They'll ask you what is the problem with the current PM election, what do you see as a drawback, what is the problem that you see. Everything in the UPSC question is going to be with a problem statement. Okay, With the problem statement, it is going to start what is a problem. So you have to tell them whether it is a problem or not. You have to explain why not, what do you think, what could be the solution for this problem, and what do you think India is going. So all these aspects you have to cover. Let's say this, this Ranjan Gogoi is the MP. We are talking about political, right? Let's talk about judiciary. Judiciary, parliament. Before that, we'll see this legislature, executive, judiciary. Okay. Legislature is the people who make rules and regulation, laws. Okay. So basically, legislature means MP, MLAs. MLAs for the state level, MPs for the India level. Okay. And then we have executive. Executives are nothing but the person who's going to execute that work. Okay. So even though the rule and other things are made, which is by the MPs, MLAs, the executive is the person who is going to implement this. That is nothing but PM, Minister of Councils, like basically Council of Ministers, and then CM. These all are considered executive because Modi is implementing the scheme. Modi is telling the laws. Correct. He does it on president's name, but he is the person who does. So he is called as executive. Judiciary are the person, judge, other things. So India is having a balance. Okay. Let's say if I give them legislator all the power, they'll make their own laws. They'll put 20,000 fine for walking in this road. Will you be able to pay? No. So when in India there is this best policy that we have is balance of power. Okay. Whenever these people are making, yeah.
It came after one of the cases in the Supreme Court.
India had this power split up since the time, okay, but there were loopholes. Okay, everywhere there are loopholes. We all know how to avoid.
Article 360,
Hmm.
the right to amend the constitution. It was there, but people were like, there are two cases. One it said that India can make the laws,
Hmm.
and then the second judgment came, no, there should be certain things which should discover fundamental rights. So that's why the checks and balances came. Because the first one was curbing even the judicial review that we had of the law.
See, it wasn't like that. See, first time there was this balance of power is where I'll tell you is you are electing the legislature, right? You are electing the members. The PM is chosen by this person, correct? So if he doesn't like the PM, these people can remove it. This was there quite a long. This is the balance of power I'm talking. Why? When the PM has more power, he is going to do a wrong thing. Let's say Modi is doing a wrong thing. These people can still pass a motion telling that he is not the right fellow. We can remove him. So this is the balance. Okay. Again, whether I can edit the constitution for this power changing and stuff, that is a different ball game. But here I can only choose this fellow. If he does wrong, he has the power to remove it. Okay. Let's say now judiciary is making mistakes. Some wrong judge is sitting and he is giving all dumb judgments. Okay. There should be a removal process. So that process is also there in the legislature. Okay. Let's say legislature is making mistake. Some voted, you elected a person, he is making some mistake. Then judiciary can pitch in and say that you can conduct a re-election or his case is void and stuff. So this is what is the balance of power. So here nobody is the complete power. But in some countries, let's take it as China, Russia, UK, they have the ultimate power. Their decisions are final. So this is why India is even more compared as a stable country. So these all comes in the second thing. And then here they are talking about statutory, regulatory and quasi-judicial bodies. Okay, so whenever you see this council, bodies and other names, you have to read it. Okay, you will know the definition, what is statutory, what is constitutional body and other things you will understand in your polity class. I don't want to go in, but this is more of it. Okay, then again they are talking about government policies, development in various sectors. Okay, and then industrial development, NGOs, vulnerable sections, SC, ST, women, children's. Okay, they all are considered as vulnerable sections. So whatever rules that comes for women is also to be noted. Okay, so this is high level on this area. So another core is that Indian economy. Correct. Indian economy is also one such key important topic that you'll see. There also it will have a lot of things on the aspect. See, it is not just alone Indian economy and issues. They are talking about inclusive growth, government budget. What are the crops pattern? Because these crops and other things are export and import again comes into our food system. Okay, what are the types of irrigation, storage, transport? Again, water scarcity can come here. Agreed. See, and direct indirect farm subsidies. What is MSPs? What is PDS? Ration shops. Okay, so these all, what is food processing? So these are some key areas that people miss. Okay, food processing and related industries. Are we exporting certain things to other countries which is processed here? Okay, let's say we are getting wheat, that is a raw, and then we make it into flour, which is little processed. Let's say we get milk, we are exporting cheese. So these are food processing industries. Okay, why are they important? See, land reforms. I told about things that is like after independence, how the land from others people went. I mean, Zamindars has been shredded or government has taken it. Again, here you also have the land reforms. So the same topic is correlated. So you either make notes there or here and keep it the same. There will be repetitions. That it's okay. See, infrastructure, energy, roads. Why? Because these also are contributed of Indian finance. Okay, so this why Indian economy is also considered as a core pillar. Okay, then we talked about ethics, integrity, and aptitude. So I always tell this, we always have this approach called EOE. Okay, this is one approach that you have to follow in your UPSC preparation. So E for essay, O for optional, E for ethics. Okay. So what is this? I don't understand what. I know these papers are important. When we talk about GS1, GS2, GS3, all the topics, everybody is going to refer one or two same documents. Let's say Spectrum, Lakshmikant, correct? The books would be same. And we are writing an examination. Everybody will almost write a similar answer. Either you will write it in the first line, second line, but the act is same. No difference you make as an individual contributor. Okay? But when it comes to essay, optional, and ethics, okay, your paper makes a great difference. You're writing an essay, knowledge is power. Everybody in this room will write one answer, completely different answer. You will not have no matching answer. I can promise. You'll write knowledge is power. You will refer one leader, that the other person will refer another leader. You'll tell everybody something, which is power for you, the other is power for him. He'll say power is getting to money. Everybody's mindset varies. Okay, so you will be writing very different answers on this paper. So that's why, let's say you are writing it for 250 marks. Okay, a person who writes to a closest might get 120, including both the questions. Okay, each question 125 marks. Another person who didn't write a correlevant answer, okay, he'll get 90. You look at the mark difference, it is 30 marks. Okay, you know how the cutoff works with UPSC, right? Point marks, you lose your service. 30 marks difference will make you stay out of the crowd. You'll cross almost thousands of people. And similarly, optional, your optional choice is very critical. Okay, why? People will help. This paper is also, say, certain times few paper gets so easy. For an literature optional, people who knows that subject very well, let's say Tamil, Kannada, Hindi, so they can write a better answer compared to a public administration paper.
Those are static papers, right? Answers will be almost same. Again, we have this standard there also too.
Where I'll tell you is, let's say public administration, the crowd, let's say around 20,000 people are writing. Public administration there is 6,000. Correct. Public administration has this different crowd. Okay, I'll tell you. And then for your Kannada literature, you're competing with your Kannada people. Okay, let's assume. So how many you think? Maybe 600, 500? Correct. And a person who's going to correct would be a localite who can make sense of your answers, basically. So this competition, he is not going to normalize your paper with this 6,000 paper. Normalization is different. I'm not going to judge everybody's answer with this common crowd. I'm going to judge my answer with your crowd. So which is so easy. If I see 10 paper are not answering questions properly, 11th paper I see a good answer, I'll give him more marks. But here it is not the case. If I see 10th paper is writing better, 200th paper will write even more better. And let's say 6,000, there is a lot of chance my answer has a wage morality or normalization. So that's why literature has this advantage. But writing a right, finding a right guidance is very critical on these papers. Okay, again maths, which can get you good amount of marks if you solve it. A very good optional. But again, when you don't make answers right, they don't give you step marks. So either you hit the shoot for the sky and you land there, or you don't go at all. So that's the case with maths optional. Public administration is horrible. Okay, my optional it is. So it is completely different ball game altogether. Okay. Similarly, economics or medicals, your subjects, if you have something, mechanical, computer science is my profession, but still I don't have any option on computer, so I have to take something else. So I choose public administration. Sociology, anthropology, these are key at this point. Okay, again, this we don't know when the trend will change. They were
Better to choose something which most of the people are taking, or the way you told, Kannada literature or anything where only few people are taking and
so first thing is that I would talk about, when you choose any optional papers, okay. So when you choose any optional paper, okay, first you have your interest. Okay, first thing is interest. You can take these two things hand in hand. So the first one is interest. So let's say I am from a computer science background. Okay, I hate biology. Okay, it's because I have a weird experience. I did not score good in my biology, and if I take antho, all these words, it won't make any sense to me. Okay, without my interest, I won't try to read that subject. So first thing, assume that whether you have interest on that subject. Economy. Do you like to read economic articles? Are you okay to read what is RBI is working? You are interested in geography. Are you happy reading this tsunami, earthquake, lands? Okay, these all you have to first identify. So interest plays, because you will be reading it for so and so month, and in case if you are re-attempting, that is going to be your optional paper. Next time you can change it. Again, it's not mandatory, but people don't usually change for 1 or 2 attempts. The reason is they may have not performed good. That year may not be lucky. So likewise they go with that. And then next is the advantage and reusability. When I say advantage and reusability, what advantage that paper provide to you, you think? If I take maths optional, I'm reading a subject which is mathematics, which I might have interest, but maths optional does not give me benefits on any other papers. Kannada literature basically.
Maths doesn't have another
CSAT is just prelims. I'm talking about the mains. Prelims marks are not considered as your, grade or your rankings. You know that, right? Prelims, whatever you get, it's just an ID card. You just have to clear that round. Don't think that I have to score out of, so and so I have to get 190, 199. It's not needed. Just clear that and go in. That's all. That's the minimum requirement. Getting 120, 100 itself is almost considered based on your the quotas and stuff. Okay, but 120 is the fast, I mean, like far safe zone. Okay, so this advantage is something that you have to consider. If I read Indian geography, I don't have to read geography for my GS1 at all. If I cover optional completely, my GS1 geography is covered. So two fruits in single stone, like they call it, no? So that's how you try to get advantage. Let's say if I was in intention to take public administration because GS2 was majorly covered, and I like doing managements, handling things, policies. Where were these policies framing? All these things are so curious, so I liked it. Okay, one. And then I found public administration had wide reusability. GS3, GS2, we have government finance and we have Indian economy in GS3. Okay, we had constitution, we had GS2. And then ethics and governance we had, which is again GS4. So public administration had wide reusability. So that's why people who take public administration optional, they get good scores in GS1, GS2, GS3, but not in their optional papers. Their optional papers are way tougher. Okay, and now these two advantage can help you. Sir, I don't want about this advantage, let me read it as a separate subject. I'm happy to do that. I don't worry about advantage and all. Then you can take any subject you wish. Sociology, again, sociology also overlaps with GS1, Indian society and diversity. Did we see that in the syllabus, right? So similarly, you just compare this. You make a matrix. First, you go through the syllabus of the optional, whatever the list that you like. First, pick the subjects that you like. Go through the syllabus of it. Okay, see the previous year question paper. Even in zoology, you might have had interest, but after seeing public administration question paper, after seeing this UPSC question paper, you'll hate zoology. There are people who has taken geography as a keen interest. He might have done a PhD in geography, but still he will hate the subject after giving one or two mains. That's the situation of this subjects. Okay, so it requires in-depth. History, you might like it, you might be happy that you remember all the years when Gandhi go here, come here, all those things, but they'll be asking to narrow down to mudras what Buddha was sitting, and they'll put a picture, and that picture would not have a clear mudra because stones have already went through wear and tear, and now you are asked to tell me what mudra it is. And then all these places right now we are telling India, Bangladesh, Kolkata, these all had a different names. So you have to write that old name. So it was complicated for me. I cannot remember factual things. My personal skill, I cannot remember factual things. So I go with current affairs a lot, the management things. So where I can tweak my answers a little. So likewise, you choose your skill set. That is what your advantage and reusability means. Okay, and the last one is faculty and resource. People sometimes, I have this. I never liked chemistry, but my chemistry ma'am used to be, very sweet to me. So after that, I was a chemistry topper. So sometimes we like the faculties and their way of coaching, teaching, and stuff. Even though we hate that subject, we fell in love in reading those. It's because we got that good understanding, the good materials that they provide, the way of teaching. So that's why faculty and resource makes the third difference. Let's say you take Kannada literature and you don't get a proper guidance, even though you be a strong interest, you had all advantage and other things, if this is failed, you will not have the hands. So this is how you choose your optional. Okay, again there are various people tell that it doesn't matter, you go sit on any class, you will read it just like Hindi, history, geography. But if you take it with an interest, you'll be happy at least, in case if it doesn't help you in the mains, at least you have covered a certain subjects. People like psychology, people tell that I want to learn. Exactly. So, but there are people have seen, okay, they choose psychology because it is interesting topics. They would have said human minds, syllabus would be curious. Yeah, there are even more worse cases. Okay, geography again people will hate, so sometimes it may not reward, and people will go with the crowd, which is a bigger mistake. Okay, they'll say that everybody is taking sociology, I'll take. But then what if you don't like it? And one more problem is the public administration crowd was like that 4 years back. Okay, 4 5 years back, they used to be, everybody used to take pabat. UPSC felt, okay, there is good amount of candidates coming, I have to filter them more. They started increasing the question paper toughness. So you don't know what is going to happen. Is it clear? So you asked me about the time management. Okay, me being a working professional, I try to spend 4 hours a day. Okay, because at least a 4 hours a day, and I try to read my newspaper in my office time. Okay,
Yes, yeah, what is coming to the basics and the people who are just starting from the like or
no. I'm talking about the basic. I'm talking when I was preparing. I used to give 4 hours a day. I used to read my newspaper in the office time. 2 articles a day. You read newspaper. If you take Indian history book to your office and you sit and read, people will be looking weird. Correct? What this fellow is thinking. But if you take a newspaper and sit there and read, it is okay. They think, okay, this fellow gets 5 10 minutes. He is reading newspaper. Correct? Choose 2 articles. Read some YouTube videos and other things are allowed in your office. Just listen to some videos. What Arvind Kejriwal's case or El Nino, anything. Blog. Mobile is always there. So again, it's all depends on you, your interest, what you want in life. Okay. I can still choose to go out with my friend for 10 coffee breaks, or I can sit and read an article. You will lose lot of friends. Okay. Once you start preparing, once you start saying no, you will not have friends. Okay, they after few 5 times they'll be like, that fellow never comes, let's not call him. These all you have to go through because you choose this domain. Okay, but once you get into civil service, they'll call you, macha, can you put this sign, and then that time, hey, you left me for the coffee, right? You can treat it that time better. But again, jokes apart. Okay, so you will lose a lot of things. I lost all my close friends, all the quality time is gone. By the time I finished my syllabus and I'm said, okay, fine, let me take a break, all these fellows get married, they're like, enjoying with kids and stuff. So you have to do certain sacrifice, accept things. Okay, first thing, patience. It's a long journey, it's a marathon. The intention should be covering the marathon, not running for 10 minutes and staying. Read 1 2 articles every day. That slowly covering topics will help you. If you are asked to read every 10 to 100 topics a single day, you will not. We are all humans. And the syllabus is very vast. Okay, UPSC syllabus is very vast. I don't know, maybe I usually ask these questions to people, but why UPSC? But since we do not have that time today, we'll talk on some other time. Okay, have a good reason.
yeah,
You want to continue? Why UPSC? I thought I'll go at least half an hour early. Sunday. Chalo, jokes about, yeah. So I'll be, in case if we have good number of students and things go, I'll be taking public administration and current affairs mostly. Ethics I cover. Essay also I take. So all these your key papers sometimes come to me. So yeah, I'll make sure that you guys understand things clearly. And I don't believe in sharing my information and putting it into your mind. So I let you guys learn how to swim instead of me telling or putting you in my bag and carrying. That doesn't make. I want you guys to learn and swim. So that's why I try to do it. In case if you want to know, sir, I don't know whether I'm making correct newspapers, articles, notes, I'm making it right. Ask help. Just ask them to make some notes every day, weekly or something. Give some notes to him and ask them, ask, send it to me, I'll evaluate. Okay, I'll evaluate and see, sir, whether your notes are coming correct, it's in shape or not. I'll try to edit whatever it is, right or wrong. Okay, we'll see how things used to go. Hmm? All the best anyways. Have a good free mind. Don't take stress. You are harming yourself but nothing else. Sleep, avoid friends and phone. How many are from Bangalore? Three. Rest all Hosur, okay. AP, yeah. So are you guys traveling? No, here only PG. Nice. So then have good time and sit and study, okay. I'll tell you, this all will be there for the first 6 months. Okay, I'm talking about the, these all things nobody likes to talk. But since I can see what you guys will go through every year, I usually talk this. So stop wasting time. Your friends, coming to Bangalore from other places, they like to enjoy, visit new places. Keep it once in a month, not once in a week, once in a month maybe. Take a 4 hours, 5 hours break or a day break. But remaining all 30 days or 29 days, try to sit and study. Okay. After that, you can all travel. It will be so bad that, my close friend is an IAS officer, but I could not. So that is so much painful, and the time you put, everything is so valuable. And first attempt and second attempt would be your best. Okay, you might think, sir, I'll prepare for 3-4 years and then give. No, first 2 attempts you'll have that good amount of motivation. Every time you cross a stage, you'll be happy. Yesterday I did not score 30% in Indian economy, today I'm getting 40 marks. That motivation will be there. But after 2 years this will drop. Okay, we are all meant to get tired. So keep it 2 years as your ultimate goal. Fix the time, complete it, close it out. Okay. Any other questions did I left to cover? I think I got covered about time management is something that you have to spend 4 hours. Okay, I used to do newspapers. So I go home, morning I get up, try to spend 1 hour, 2 hours with revising my old topics. Okay, morning your mind is fresh. If you go to work and come back, you'll be very much tired. So try to read new things or the important things in the morning, and in the evening just make notes. So note making doesn't need any energy or something. You just make notes and next day you revise it. Make notes, next day you revise it. Make notes, you next day you revise it. And then newspaper, choose 3 articles which you are interested, and those 3 articles you make notes. Let's say today you got 10 articles which is relevant to your syllabus. You liked El Nino, you like to read about Arvind Kejriwal, and then you wanted to read about Nirav Modi or any other financial crime. Then 3 articles is enough. Don't overdo things. Tomorrow, different set of 3 articles will come. You read it. BrahMos, judiciary, the science and technology. These all will come every time. It will repeat. The word AI is coming almost every day. So you might expect a question. The word about enforcement direct, and then you financial crimes, Supreme Court. These all you will have here every day. So try to find some answer on that. Make article on that day wherever you feel more. So by the end of uh, 60-70 days, you'll have a good amount of articles. You'll get all the newspaper links. Okay, and we'll cover the background of the story, and we'll have one discussion on some important articles like, do we need reservation, do we need this capital punishments, capital punishments, death punishment basically. So do we need it? What is your opinion? Why do you think you need it? Why do you think you don't need it? So these all makes a small difference. Okay, we'll have those discussions. So you will get multiple points from everybody's thinking. Okay, I might feel reservation is correct, you may not. Others might feel yes. What is a government's view? What is a politician's view? Okay, we all will talk about all those things. Okay, good. I think I'm good for the day.